Oftentimes in the NBA draft, there's a can't miss number one prospect that's definitely going number one overall no matter what. Last year, that player was Cade. In the upcoming 2022 draft, no single prospect has really stood out to the point where they're the consensus number one pick. In fact, you can make a compelling case for a few guys in this class to go number one. In this video, I did my best to project what prospect each team in the lottery will end up taking. Of course, with 20 games left, the standings are going to fluctuate, and we still have to wait for the NBA draft lottery in May, but the order of these picks are accurate as of Friday, February 25th. Anyway, let's go ahead and get started with this mock draft. With the number one pick, the Magic are going to select Jabari Smith out of Auburn. Jabari is a lights-out three-point shooter, and at 6'10" with a high release point, his outside shot is extremely difficult to defend. And while his ability to create off the bounce is limited, he has flashed the ability to attack the rim and create shots for himself in the mid-range. But the catch-and-shoot three is his bread and butter for now. And he also thrives on the less glamorous end, where his incredible size and lateral quickness make him a versatile defender. At the next level, he should be a defender that can guard 1 through 5. Jabari Smith may not be the complete franchise game-changing talent you expect out of a number one pick, but to be fair, nobody in this draft really projects to be at that level. The point is, Jabari's shooting length and defense make him extremely unique, and if he continues to develop, he's got a very high upside. The rebuilding Magic need a young talent with a high ceiling, making Jabari a good pick. With the number two pick, the Pistons select Paolo Banchero out of Duke. Banchero's best attribute is his ability to get buckets. He's an absolute tank at 6'10" and 250 pounds, and he blends that great size and strength with an offensive repertoire very reminiscent of Carmelo Anthony. Just like Melo, he loves to operate in the high and low post, where he gets a lot of buckets both facing up and posting up defenders. The main knock against him is that he struggles from the outside, only shooting 29% from 3 on the season. He has all the makings to be an elite scorer at the next level, but he really needs to improve his long game. For the Pistons, Banchero could be a nice secondary option behind Cade Cunningham. With the number 3 pick, the Rockets are going to select Chet Holmgren out of Gonzaga. Chet Holmgren brings guard skills that you rarely see out of a player his size, making him a true unicorn. For example, how many 7-footers have you seen that shoot their threes at 44% while also blocking 3 shots a game? And it gets better because he also possesses the ability to handle and pass pretty well for a big. And mentally, his coaches say that he's a fierce competitor that doesn't back down from anyone, and he's also a gym rat. Of course, he needs to put on muscle, and players his frame always have injury concerns, but if he hits, he could be a special player on both sides of the ball. For the Rockets, Chet is the perfect high upside prospect to jumpstart their rebuild. Even though I have him at number 3, I really wouldn't be shocked if he ends up the number 1 pick come draft night. With the 2022 draft just a few months away, NBA scouts will be at Gonzaga learning all they can about Chet Holmgren. If you also want to learn and grow in 2022, then you need to join Skillshare. Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands of online classes and members across 150 countries. As a YouTuber, I'm always trying to improve my skills, so I joined Skillshare to learn to make better thumbnails. I love Daniel Scott's class on Adobe Photoshop. His course taught me many of the features, including how to create text on Photoshop. Clearly, the thumbnail came out good because you guys decided to click on it. Say you want to become a software engineer, they have classes on coding. Point is, Skillshare has tons of courses in a wide range of categories. The first 1,000 people to use my link will get a month free trial of Skillshare, so don't wait. Skillshare is the place to be if you want to invest in yourself and grow your career or business. With the number 4 pick, the OKC Thunder select Jaden Ivey out of Purdue. Now, at first glance, I wanted to go with AJ Griffin because he's the better fit with OKC's young players. OKC doesn't really need to draft a guard when they have Josh Giddey and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but now that I think of it, OKC may prefer to just go with the best player available, and after the top 3, Ivey projects to be the best player. He's been drawing a lot of comparisons to Ja Morant because of his incredible explosiveness to the basket. Like Ja, Jaden is incredibly fast and has a high vertical, which makes him an incredible finisher around the rim, and he knows how to contort his body mid-air to finish over defenders. Yes, Ivy isn't an ideal fit with what OKC already has, but the star potential may be too high for Sam Presti to pass up on him. With the number 5 pick, the Pacers select Shaedon Sharpe. Sharpe was the number 1 high school prospect, but unfortunately, he's yet to play any college ball this season. But Sharpe is still a very intriguing prospect with a chance to go top 5 in this draft. He's got jump out of the gym athleticism, with many close to him saying he has a monster 48-inch vertical, and that freakish athleticism combined with his great size at 6'5" with a 7-foot wingspan make him a great slasher. He's a really good scorer and facilitator, but he's still a huge question mark since he hasn't played a game for Kentucky yet. He's the type of prospect I can see rising up draft boards once workouts start in June. For the Pacers, he could form a deadly backcourt alongside the recently acquired Tyrese Halliburton. With the number 6 pick, the Kings select AJ Griffin out of Duke. AJ Griffin is a wing player with good size at 6'6" and a 7-foot wingspan. On offense, he's one of the best catch-and-shoot three-point shooters in college basketball, hitting a ridiculous 48% from 3 on 7 attempts per 40 minutes. He doesn't do a bunch of self-creation, but he has shown flashes of being able to attack off the dribble and score at the rim or create a shot for himself in the mid-range. And on defense, his nice size and lateral quickness make him a good on-ball defender. At the next level, AJ Griffin looks like he could be a wing player that can not only shoot and defend, but also potentially be a good scorer. For a Kings team that needs players like that around their new dynamic duo of Fox and Sabonis, this makes Griffin a good fit. With the number 7 pick, the Blazers take Johnny Davis out of Wisconsin. Johnny Davis has gone from having a decent freshman year at Wisconsin to having a monster second year where he's averaging 21 points per game. He's one of the most skilled shot creators in this draft and gets it done from all over the court. He's got a really nice handle which allows him to drive to the hoop at will or create space for his mid-range pull-ups, and he's also deadly from deep as well. And despite carrying a heavy offensive burden, he's still a pretty good defender. For the Trailblazers, Johnny Davis could form a really explosive backcourt next to Anthony Simons. With the number 8 pick, the Spurs select Keegan Murray out of Iowa. Murray is another player who had a modest freshman year, and now he's having a monster season in his sophomore year, averaging 24 points per game. He's a 6'8" power forward who's a dominant scorer with a nice back-to-the-basket game and good touchdown low. He's also a pretty good shooter, currently knocking down 37% of his threes. And he's also good on the defensive end where he can guard multiple positions. For the Spurs, I'm not sure Murray will be able to overpower NBA defenders on the block the way he does in college, but his ability to shoot and defend well at the 4 spot should still make him a very good player at the next level. With the 9th pick, the Knicks select Ty Washington out of Kentucky. Ty isn't a super explosive guard, but he could get to his spots and score in the mid-range or in the floater range. And he's also shown some really good playmaking abilities, even dropping 17 assists in one game. The Knicks have needed a quality point guard for nearly 2 decades now. Neither Kemba or Rose are the long-term solution. Emmanuel Quickley is really more of a combo guard, and Miles McBride remains unproven and really just projects as a defender and shooter. Point is, the Knicks need to upgrade the point guard position. They seem to have a strong Kentucky connection, and Kentucky guards seem to have a good track record for panning out at the next level, so this pick makes a lot of sense. With the 10th pick, the Trailblazers select Ochai Agbaji out of Kansas. Agbaji has a great physical profile for a wing at 6'6" with a long 6'10" wingspan and a sky-high 42-inch vertical. He's one of the best shooters in this draft, currently knocking down 45% of his threes on a high volume 7 attempts per game. And while he's not a great shot creator, he knows how to use his amazing athleticism to score at the rim, whether it's cutting hard to the basket, scoring in transition, or attacking closing out defenders. And thanks to his physical gifts, he's also a good defender. Agbaji is another nice wing player for the Blazers to add to their rebuild. With the 11th pick, the Grizzlies select Benedict Mathurin out of Arizona. The Memphis Grizzlies are in a very unique position where they're one of the top teams in the West, yet they still may end up with a lottery pick depending on how the Lakers finish the season. With Mathurin, the Grizzlies are landing a 6'7" wing player with the potential to be a good shot creator. He shoots the ball really well, currently hitting 38% of his threes at Arizona, and he's also shown the ability to shoot and drive off the bounce, but he still needs to work on his handle. Defensively, he's shown the ability to guard multiple positions and rebound pretty well. Mathurin should be a nice addition to the Grizzlies' young core. With the 12th pick, the Washington Wizards select Dyson Daniels out of the G League. Dyson Daniels is your annual big point guard coming out of Australia, following Josh Giddey and LaMelo Ball. He brings great size for the point guard position at 6'6" with a long 6'9" wingspan. He's an unselfish player that's shown the ability to be a good playmaker, and he's also a fast guard that can get to the rim and finish at the basket, but he really needs to work on his shooting. With the Spencer Dinwiddie pickup not panning out, the Wizards are still in need of a point guard, but Daniels will likely require some patience. With the 13th pick, the Atlanta Hawks selects Kendall Brown out of Baylor. Brown is a 6'8" small forward with an intriguing skill set on both ends. Thanks to his quickness and length, he's a terrific on-ball defender and has the potential to be a high-level defender at the next level. On offense, his shooting has to get better, but he's an efficient scorer driving to the rim, and he's also shown the ability to pass. The Hawks need some more defense on the perimeter so they could use a prospect like Kendall Brown, who projects as a good defender at the next level with the potential to do even more. And finally, with the 14th pick, the Hawks select Jalen Duren out of Memphis. He's got a great physical profile for a big man at 6'10" with a 7'5" wingspan. On defense, he's a great rebounder and one of the best rim protectors in this draft, putting up over 2 blocks a game. And on offense, he's a great screen and roller thanks to his great athleticism, but he's also shown the ability to score on the block. The Hornets could use a big man that can defend but also rim run, making Jalen a nice fit with their current young core. Anyway guys, that's going to be the end of the video, but now I want to hear what you guys think. Do you agree with my list? Who do you want your team to select in the upcoming draft? Tell me in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, drop a like on it, subscribe, and check out some of my other content. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day.